Welcome back, team. It's Dr. Jackie here. I'm a child and adolescent psychiatrist. I make videos about general mental health topics, psychiatry training, as well as how mental illness is portrayed in the media. If that's interesting to you, like and subscribe and join the team. I've been getting a lot of questions about how to stand out, or what do I do now to prepare myself knowing that I want to do psychiatry. What I noticed is that there's a lot of videos talking about research and what you do to fill your CV. I kind of want to take a step back and ask you, what is it that you want? What I like to remind all the trainees that I work with is that you were a human being before you entered training or decided that you ever wanted to become a doctor. Being a doctor is my career. It's something that I'm super passionate about, obviously, but it's only one piece of who I am as an individual. So I guess the question is, who are you and why do you want to be a doctor? Why are you passionate about this as a career? The reason why I say the questions, who am I and why do I want to become a doctor and a psychiatrist, are the most important questions that you're going to start with, is because things are going to get tough, and when they get tough, it really helps to have a reason to fall back on so that you can remind yourself why you're doing all this hard work. You're going to spend a lot of time alone. You might have to dig deep and figure out what inspires you. What kind of impact on this world do you want to leave with your life and your actions and your words? The best way to make sure that you keep all the awesome things about you and your personality and your individual characteristics is knowing and reminding yourself throughout this really rigorous training process. Maybe you need to just pause the video right now and sit and reflect on what these kinds of things look like for you, and it is a dynamic process. The next thing might also be very difficult. You want to think about all your strengths and your weaknesses and write them down. When you're feeling like you're starting to compare yourself to all the other trainees and thinking about all the amount of people that are applying for the position that you want, that can get extremely daunting. It is a whole strategy as to when you are applying and going out there every single day, showing what you're made of to the people who might be writing you letters of recommendation, but most importantly to yourself and your patients that you're caring for. Once you have your strengths and your weaknesses down, you can look at your strengths when you're feeling a little insecure and remind yourself that these are skills that you've been working on that make you different. You probably chose things in your life that kind of continue to build those things because you felt really good about those strengths. When it comes to your weaknesses and just owning them, because everybody has them, then you can start focusing on chiseling away at those things. You can start working on them. Again, they're just skills. And maybe they were made weaknesses because we were avoiding things that involved them. And you're going to continue facing things that are going to be tough and uncomfortable. And leaning into that discomfort is going to be so key, because you are going to be sitting there with your patients, telling them to do things that are uncomfortable, and you have to know what that feels like. Just remember how far you've come, thinking back about all the struggles that you've had, times where you thought you weren't going to do a good job and you impressed yourself, times that you did feel like you let people down. You're still here today, you survived it, and you're going to survive so many more of those moments, and you'll be better for it. You have to keep the big picture in mind, because when you are taking one day at a time, one skill at a time, realize that that is to make yourself a full clinician. I'm still a work in progress, and I appreciate that. For a really long period of time, I was walking into the room and the one person that really knew the least in that entire room. I've grown to appreciate that so much, because I get to be in a room full of people that have so much to teach me, and there's so much to learn, and that's what's so amazing about medicine, is that we're constantly growing and learning. The more that you know, the more you realize you don't know. Regardless of what specialty you're going into, but specifically psychiatry here, just remember what you would imagine a patient to value. You'd imagine that compassion, empathy, strong communication skills, strong active listening skills are strengths that we possess in our specialty that are really focused on and worked on through training. The things that we observe in our work are not so tangible and obvious, and the interventions that we do take time. When you are making your choices about how to stand out, think about how you really want to add value to a team. Now is not the time to really beat yourself up and hide. If you're going to apply for something, you decide, yes, Dr. Jackie, I'm screaming at the screen right now that I want to do this. then now's the time to really work on these things. And I don't know why else you would do this but to get better at something that you're passionate about. Are you going to let those insecurities get in the way? The reason why you've gotten this far is because you're probably an extremely hard worker. Lastly, I think making sure that you surround yourself and only listen to the people who truly support you. There are going to be a lot of people that provide their opinion, and it might not always look and feel like support. Take what's useful out of what they're saying to you and leave all of the rest behind. We start where we are and we move forward from here. You answer these questions for yourself, you are going to start looking and searching for opportunities. And that's the kind of trainee and person that you just want to work with. Someone who is aware of their own shortcomings and who is willing to work on them, call them out without shame. It just makes for a stronger team. And that would be someone I'd want to work with.